Alright, and hey there, Prox Gaming Crew, and this is Proxify here, and we are finally in the finale of our time with the Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door on the Nintendo Switch. This is where we're going to have to face off with the Shadow Queen herself and Shadow Peach as well in the process. And now, if you are on your way of doing some tattling logs, you should at least try to make sure to grab these type of two bosses here, because if you don't, you are going to be missing out on an opportunity for them. Now, however, I'm not going to be able to go and do the full trophy situation because I'm not going to go out of my way to really worry about that anymore. Unfortunately, I did miss out on quite a bit of other different enemies, but again, we'll probably be seeing them within our way of when we start reaching off into our time of the 100-pit trial. If you guys want me to go ahead and do that, I will leave that out as a poll somewhere on Twitter or somewhere on the community post. You guys can let me know in the comments down below if you guys want me to go ahead and do all of that. And we'll kind of just tie up all the loose ends here within our way of Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door. And mind you, I don't really want to spoil out here with anything that is going to happen in this episode because I want you guys to see how well that we went and did throughout here so far of this said remake or the reboot series that I have been doing for, of course, a Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door. You guys already see my struggles against with the Shadow Queen, and this time around, I think we have some very nice, good, positive said news that we are going to be in a little bit of a much better process than the last time, because I know that before I told you guys a little bit during the entrance way of our time of us heading on into the Palace of Shadows was that in the past series that I went and did for Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door, we didn't do as well as I wanted to, and unfortunately during that time I didn't really know too much about the Shadow Queen because again, during that very first series that I did with Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door, that was all the way back in like 2018, and the last time that I ever stepped foot into Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door, and that was on the GameCube, that was like way back when. So having to go and do that series on the channel and not really knowing too much about the Shadow Queen, we got the story pretty much quickly, and unfortunately I wasted up on so much amount of like different type of FP and everything, and not only that, I don't even think I even had the Feeling Fine badge at all either, which that was a really big problem because technically here in this part of the Palace of Shadows, you do want to have that Feeling Fine badge because that is like the last type of time that you are ever going to see those badges, because after once the said X-Naut Fortress is completely destroyed, there is no going back to that place at all. I don't really think so, because like technically, like once Tech does like the self-deletion and everything that happens from there, there's no coming back to that Feeling badge area, and once you don't have that, you're kind of in a situation where you're gonna have to be really careful without having to get yourself confused. Because this Shadow Queen does a lot of stuff. She does poison, she does confusion, and it's just not going to be good. And look at this. It's like turning out to be like almost like Gen 4 Pokemon out here. If you guys remember back in the Spear Pillar where like all the, all that type of weird shadowy type of things are just like overshadowing all the different places that we went and seen from before. So I guess that was how Pokemon kind of got inspired throughout all of that, just from this whole Shadow Queen situation. Yep, and this is where unfortunately we're gonna have to go and see that Princess Peach is gonna be the new vessel for this queen. And she does actually have like a pretty cool design, if I have to say so myself, even though that this is kind of a bad situation, but she does have a really cool, awesome design that happens here with Peach. But oh man, that's not good. We got an earthquake. And it's gonna be shaking all the different foundations everywhere around over here. Now, I don't know if I already mentioned this, but we are doing Persona 4 as well, so we guys do go and check it on that. Currently, right now, we are just heading through the beach line story that is going to happen. We're going to be seeing all of the friends just hanging out, having a good time at the beach, and then I think we should be getting back into the social linking aspect once again, and maybe continue onwards with the main story, depending on what is going to happen throughout our time now, because we're almost finished with August, but we still haven't really gotten anything on the Midnight Channel yet, and that should be happening at least somewhat soon. Hey, and there's Frankly. Where the heck have you been, man? I know that previously before the sisters and also with Dupless, they went and did something with him and locked him up somewhere, or something happened around within that time. So At least he's now finally back here, but I think you're already a little bit too late, man. The time has come for Princess Peach to go and turn herself into the more shadow side of herself. But look at this. She kind of looks like a more female version of Dracula out here within that type of cape. It looks pretty cool. Now, mind you, when you come on into this battle, I believe the Shadow Queen and Shadow Queen Peach are actually going to be somewhere around within the 150 HP margin. So, at least what the good thing is that since we already do have enough of, whoa, that was just crazy. I don't know if you guys just saw that there, but Grotus just went and got completely destroyed. There's no more of that Grotus guy coming back. He just went into like the void somewhere. Well, here we go. And speaking about with the Cyrus sisters and Dupless, they're already here now. Well, but later on when you start going on into the said battle with the Shadow Peach / the Shadow Queen that's going to be out here, there is going to be a situation where you're not going to be able to do a lot of different attacking and whatnot that's going to happen. So, unfortunately, you kind of have to just do some regular type of damage until like the Shadow Queen starts like retrieving back some of her health, because that's what the game kind of wants you to do later on. Even though that's kind of like a waste of doing all your different attacks and whatnot, halfway throughout the point of the game is that they are going to try to regenerate her health again. And I've been seeing a lot of interesting things that are happening in Echoes of Wisdom right now within the new game. I know that, I think, what was it, a YouTuber that I really do like, I think Philly Beats You, that kind of like goes and like does like a whole bunch of like different set like tutorial based stuff and whatnot, which that's something that I kind of want to go and get myself into with other different games later on down the road on the channel. But I know that he went and talked about that there's like a very early type of way that you could get like a Lionel within Echoes of Wisdom pretty quickly, so that should be pretty interesting. And having a Lionel will probably be really nice, because it will probably do like a lot of different like damage and whatnot, and probably you could have like somewhat of a very nice good early time throughout the beginning portion of the game or something like that there. And speaking about Echoes of Wisdom, I should be able to get that game somewhat delivered here to my house very soon. Because I've been getting like random update information saying that like apparently like the item went and left the actual area that it was pre-ordered at. So now I had to like go and pay like some bit of like some sort of like shipping fee and whatever. It wasn't really all that too much amount of money anyways, because I paid out for both of Mario and Luigi Brothership and Echoes of Wisdom from there. So unfortunately I will be only getting just the one game, but I have to wait until November for that one to come out. Which I'm really excited about Brothership, because I believe that that game is going to be, I think, the very first actual like co-op related Mario and Luigi game together, which that would be really fun for me and Kevin to go and do, because I know that Kevin hasn't really went and played a Mario and Luigi game for such a long time, and I think it would be something interesting for us to go and do on the channel, which I think that would be really fun. So this is where I suggest and highly suggest that if you are going to be doing this Shadow Queen battle, you want to make sure that you keep on using your powerlifting badge most of the time, or sorry, powerlifting crystal star that is going to be here most of the time, because that is your main go-to thing. I wouldn't really go out of my way to just keep on spamming out with Earth Tremors, because it's not going to really help you out all that too much, and later on, halfway throughout the battle, she's going to basically be like somewhat invincible to any type of move that you do, so you don't really want to be wasting too much amount of your crystal stars, so just keep on using up as most of the powerlifting as you can, and that should at least somewhat help out. So, mind you, by the way, guys, since this episode is going to be somewhat of a lengthy one out here for today, I wasn't really trying to plan out on this episode being lengthy. It's just that because with all the different cutscenes and then having the Shadow Queen battle, I'm not going to show you guys every single part that happens throughout our time, throughout the different battles that go on from out here, but I'll just show you guys how well that we went and did most of the damage out here so far. And I do highly suggest that you mainly keep on using Vivian for this fight. This is something that you do want to use. Basically, every single member on your team is going to basically be useless out here, unfortunately. I kind of have to say that. Well, maybe not really so much amount of Bobbery, because Bobbery is like somewhat pretty helpful and maybe somewhat Coops, but majority of your other teammates are not going to really be as great, and you're just going to just be relying on Vivian. So just make sure that with having Vivian out here, and then also having all of her ultimate moves and getting the extra HP with her as well, you should at least be like somewhat set for this battle anyways. So if Vivian starting to go and lose a little bit of health, just make sure that you just keep on trying to heal her up as best as you can. Also as well, having some extra life streams as well, just so that you can kind of help yourself out with all that. But so far, we're just getting all the way down to her 78 HP out here. Pretty soon, I think somewhere in the halfway margin of her HP, she will have to go through her little segment, and that's where we're going to have to kind of just sit back and kind of just do some random moves until Pete starts to go in and doing something here. Or maybe she'll probably do it right now. So it looks like she's going to go and probably just stop that around here. I thought we were going to probably do some extra more damage beforehand, but yeah, so now she goes into her full, like, actual, like, Shadow Queen type of mode here. So this is where you kind of want to make sure that, that you just kind of just do your regular attacks, because right now, those hands and everything else about with her at this moment in time, even with her fortress around within Peach there, you can't really go and do anything within any type of damage, so you're going to kind of have to wait and see what happens. So basically for right now, on how it actually stands here, is that seems like we can't really go and do anything towards to any other type of body part right now. So as you guys are going to just be seeing here in just in a little bit. Yep, so basically fire damage is useless. It's basically immune here, so nothing for it to be done. Even regular jumping doesn't even do anything either. But at some point here, this is where all the crystal stars are going to have to go and return all the way back towards to the part where all the different villages are. And then that's where it's going to kind of have like some sort of like Earthbound type of feel. Because if you guys have ever remembered, back when we went and did the Earthbound series, there was a particular segment that did happen where we were playing, within our way of the said battle, and we couldn't really go and do anything with, what's his name, with Gygus there. So, unfortunately, we had to have all the different villagers from all the different towns that we've been through so that they could all kind of go and kind of say what they need to say, and then just make sure that, every time that we keep on setting up for Paula's attack, it kept on doing like extra more damage every time. Well, unfortunately, it's not like that here in this game, where the words of everybody is gonna start like doing so much damage to Gygus, but or to say to the Shadow Queen here. But unfortunately, at least it will kind of put a damper on her force field that's going on right now for whatever type of situations happening where we can't do any type of attacking. But whoa. It's going around Rogueport here. Well, this is interesting. Yep, and there's all the crystal stars that we went and seen. So they all went and got themselves disappeared from the 1,000-year door, and they finally arrived on over here to this way. And off they go to all the different places. All the places that we've already been to previously. So that's, for example, heading all the way over here to Petalburg. That was where we went about it with Hooktail. I can't believe, like, Coop's dad is just literally going out of his way to say, like, what is this thing? He's the one that was trying to find this treasure to begin with. Does this man have, like, short-term memory loss or something? What's going on? At some point, this guy's gonna probably start ending up like Mayor Croup out here. What is this shiny thing? You should already know that, man. And then here's their green star that just when it showed up. But it is calling out, so just make sure that you just keep on screaming into that crystal star there. That'd be really weird. I'm just thinking about that now, because like I don't know if you guys ever remembered a GameCube accessory for like a mic where you were able to like use the microphone situation for it. Like I wonder if like if there was ever a time that like when this game was coming out, did they ever plan out to have like a mic functionality within that so that you could actually be able to scream into the mic as well and then be able to like cause the Shadow Queen's force field to get disappeared. That'd been really nice. Because, like, I know that, like, the mic hardly ever got featured all that too much on the GameCube. Because, mind you, again, the mic was, like, at the very, like, I think, like, somewhat around, like, the tail end of the GameCube's lifespan. So, like, majority of the time, you would be using that mic for most of the Mario Party games. And I don't know if there was, like, a Pokemon game that you were able to do with anything mic-related. I don't know if it was, like, Pokemon Channel or something. I can't even remember. It's been way too long. But that microphone is like such a forgettable item. But mind you, I do actually have it. Like, there are so many like cool type of features like on the GameCube accessory that I wish that they would have did like more stuff with it. Because I remember like when I got the Game Boy player, I thought that was like the most like coolest thing ever. And then kind of being able to actually play all like any type of I think it's like Game Boy, like, yeah, I think you could actually do GBC games on there as well. So you could do like Game Boy Color games and like original GBC games, and I think even GBA games as well. And they were really fun to go and do all that. Go and scream, Toad. Scream into that blue star there. Oh, there's all the Toad sisters there. You know, that's the one thing that I never went on my way to do, is go and talk to those Toad sisters. But again, they're hardly ever really that, like, important to the story anyways. Like, I know that they're normally there, like, every single type of chapter that you go through. And what's kind of funny is that, like, every single time that you meet them, they always have, like, some sort of weird situation that goes on. Like, for example, with the whole thing of the, like, the Twilight Town and all of them getting turned to pigs and whatnot. Oh, so now finally, Mr. Detective Penguin guy there actually finally knows that it hasn't been Luigi all this time. You know, I was wearing a Luigi outfit, so maybe that's what was causing him to kind of have his brain kind of scrambled up there. All right, and there's all the bombs. We've already seen all these guys from before. That was during our time with Chapter 7. And I think by now, we are finally here. Back to where the main part of the battle is going to be. Alright, this should at least somewhat cause this force field to now go and break here, Peach. Or as to say, the Shadow Queen. And, oh boy, here we go. And just like that, we should be able to at least see a glimpse of what Peach is happening here. And if you ever are in a situation where if you are low on health, not to worry. Peach is going to help you out and give you the last bit of her strength, and she'll give you all the different power that you do need for this fight. So at least Peach got to do something here in this game. Compared to like what happened with Bowser. Well, actually, no, you got to play a little bit with Bowser throughout the different levels and whatnot, but at least Peach was able to do something here. Uh-oh, and here we go, back to the battle. So now, what's going to happen here is that we should be able to do a lot of damage to all the different body parts here of the Shadow Queen. So, first things first is what we're going to go and have to do is power lift our way, and that is majority of all the things that we're going to have to do here. Just keep on power lifting, keep on doing any type of charge attacks as well. Keep on boosting up on all your different attacks as best as you can, just so that you don't really have to get yourself completely destroyed throughout here. Because just lets you know that if you don't really have Vivian, and if you're not trying to plan out on making things a little bit easier for yourself, you're going to be running into a major problem. Because those hands and some other type of parts that will happen throughout this battle is going to get pretty gnarly. And they do like multiple hits. So like, you want to be a little bit careful for that. So here we go, got some of the fiery jinx, so we're just going to light all of this up as best as we can, get the burn damage right off, because that's going to be super nice for that. And just make sure to just keep on getting this Shadow Queen burn for the burn damage, because that will be a very nice, good, big help of all of that there. Alright, and here we go, and now the hands have been brought out, and that's going to be a little bit of a problem. Whoa. Yeah, and unfortunately, you could try to safeguard, but they're just going to be doing some damage. Now, unfortunately here for this battle, I didn't really want to go out of my way to use Goombella, just because for the simple fact is that I don't really feel like I want to go out of my way to change around with any of my partners, since we do have Vivian here, and she is one of the best type of members for our party to just begin with in this said battle, so. There we go. Hopefully a little bit more can go and do some damage here. Yeah, let's make sure that we keep that burn damage alive and let that keep on sitting there for the time being. Alright, so I think we're getting into our editing portion of this said battle here, so we should be getting ourselves a little bit more closer to the end part. So I don't know how many more other turns that we have to go through, but there we go. So that one, it took care of that. So now she's going to have to go and think about something else here. So she's going to power up both her defense and power, just like what we're doing out here. And everybody went to sleep. Oh, great. But I don't really think that we do need our audience all that too much for our members. I think we'll be okay. So let's go for another jump here, and boom! And just like that, we actually aced through the Shadow Queen battle. This was our first time finally saying that we could go and destroy out on the Shadow Queen here on this series for the channel. It did take us such a long time. Did that before when we were doing that on the Shadow Queen battle during the first series. Did not go out as well as it planned out to be. That series had to be done, and then we had to go and then do the randomizer for our time as well with the with that part, and then we got ourselves completely blown back within the Shadow Queen / like Gloomtail area, where we were having a little bit of some difficulties, because if you guys don't know, during the randomizer everything was like high up on the HP, so we were really screwed around within there. But hey, look at that, Princess Peach is finally back to being normal. Oh, and I think by now, all those flames are now going to start turning back to happy flames again. So now they're going to be running away like cowards, huh? And then you basically just go and leave your old pal Dupless behind, I guess. They always keep on leaving Dupless around. Oh, well, I think Princess has started to get back up again. Nice. Now, I may probably end this episode a little bit more shortly than what it needs to be out here for this said video for today. It's just because that throughout majority of this particular part here is that there's just so many amount of segments, just because of just like retracing all the different things that have been going on out here so far. So I'm not going to show you guys everything within the way of the finale. So whenever there's a good part where I think I am going to just go and just end it off here, that's where I'll do it, and then we could just go and just continue onwards for whatever else that happens throughout the channel afterwards. But hey, look at that. It seems like there was an actual treasure in this whole Palace of Shadows to begin with from the whole entire start. Too bad that we ever can't really go and really see what this is all about, though. Alright, so now it's time to go home, and that's exactly what we're going to do. See you guys in the next one, and of course, peace.